Yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're currently flying at 3,500,000 feet. I would just like to give a special shout out to all the adults on this plane. This plane is powered by adults. Wait a minute. I'm hearing news. There's a kid on the plane. Tower, we have bad news. There's a kid on the plane. Throw him out the plane. Throw him to their death. Ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be no kids on the last two Brain Cells Airlines tonight. The door is open and toss him. And there they go. This is a plane and a podcast for 18-year-old or older. So if not, get off the plane. See you next time. Ding!
Let's do brain cells. Let's do brain cells. Let's do brain cells. Let's do brain cells.
That was my captain. And captains do that, I guess.
It's actually hilarious because you could see in the mirror you coming up and down like a doofus. There's no surprise. You just
Well, I guess you got me. You wouldn't be able to see it if I was able to make the lights apple green, but I went with Energize because it's 2:44 in the morning.
Can we start with some hot takes? Just apples, green apples, ass.
Whoa!
They should be called assholes.
No, they should be called the better apple because it's like apple, but it's also like sour Skittles.
Yeah, I guess if you like sour Skittles and then you're a verified masochist, then it makes sense that you
me.
like other masochistic shit.
Well, that's true. Like I like sour Skittles. That way your tongue feels like a cat's tongue by the end, and also eating too many sunflower seeds, so your mouth literally feels like a sand cavern. I love all those things. Sign me up.
You enjoy that? Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't even just enjoy it. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for the non-masochists out there, here's a pro tip. Pears are just better apples. They taste better. They're softer. They last a long time in the refrigerator. Go ahead and get yourself a pear.
Pears are kind of ugly, though.
You're going to judge a fruit by its aesthetics?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why you be eating so many eggplant.
That's why I love eggplant. I can't get enough eggplant with the two grapes. Little grapes and eggplants, I'll be popping them all day.
That's like the opposite of your setup, bro. You got the because like the grape to eggplant ratio, that's the inverse of your ratio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the opposite of my cockpit.
Your rig.
I'm more like two hard-boiled eggs and a hot dog, Oscar Mayer.
That's so precisely accurate. Yes.
You take these.
Yeah.
We're a description podcast. We're an audio podcast. We got to make sure that people that are driving in traffic can visualize what I'm saying right now.
What can you describe my kit and caboodle with food items?
Your kit and caboodle it's just a stunning piece, but it's more of a let's think here. It's more of like you know when you get like a really good gumball from the gumball machine for 25 cents. You got two gumballs.
Gumballs.
You got two gumballs. Yeah, you got two gumballs. And then you also got the Oscar Mayer wiener, but he's wearing a sweater.
Okay.
And it's skin color sweater, and it goes over his head. He's trying to hide like Kenny from South Park.
Okay.
Your wiener's kind of like Kenny from South Park. He's like, and then he takes off his hoodie, and you can finally hear him.
That's so rough to hear.
What do you mean? That's like pretty cool.
No, that does not project power and authority, and that.
Okay. You got two 8-balls and a python.
Thank you. That's now I'm just gonna cut. I'm gonna cut to that answer and pretend you didn't say anything about Kenny from South Park.
Perfect.
All right. Anyway, welcome to the last two brain cells. We are two hog riders named Donovan and
Austin Hog Rider.
And today is October 6th, 2024. Fucking nailed that one. And this is episode 31. Here is a sneaky peeky at what's to come.
That was a good one.
Somebody just came.
Fistula. That sounds like an evil villain that's gonna like put their hand deep inside your butthole.
Next up, 5 people were burnt or scalded to death. Pretty self-explanatory. Bummer. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, that was a good one.
Stop, please. I don't want to endorse this. Online? Can you imagine God's cum shots, bro? Woo! Brother, stop. Don't feed the beast. There's no...
I squeezed that one out.
Oh.
I'm making this is the only way we're gonna make it. We're on episode 31. This is it. This is all we have.
I was worried that this would be pretty rusty, but to be honest, that shit felt lubed up.
I feel ready to slide in.
Yeah, it's sometimes going into an episode, it feels like you got to bite the pillow and it's just hitting you raw. And this one, I barely feel it.
No, for sure. I feel like sometimes
I'm like,
getting into an episode,
did we start?
it's like, are we there yet? Because it looks like we're there yet. This is episode 31. It's been an actual month plus since we were able to do this last. But turns out this bike still rides.
It rides from a distance though. If this is a tandem bicycle, it's probably the longest one in the world because I'm operating out here in Istanbul, Turkey. I'm back across the pond, and you're operating back in Old Town Austin, Texas.
Yeehaw! Gotta hold it down out here.
Yeah, so we're trying to navigate some time zone differences once again, but hey, we're still serving up content. We're here to make something fun. So 31, let's have some fun.
Hell yeah, I'm keeping my boots on the ground in Texas while you're traveling around the world living your life. And you've had some big updates. But quick updates before we jump into the updates. It is 2:49 a.m. out here in Austin, Texas, and I am drinking a beautiful cup of coffee out of the Last Two Brain Cells podcast coffee cup. And you're having your morning coffee. What time is it for you?
It's 10:51 a.m. But I had a late one last night, so I'm on very little sleep. So just a forewarning for you and to the listeners, I apologize. I'm going to be a little tired.
Is it more or less energy than the Worms episode?
Oh, bro, no, because my energy for the Worms episode, I was riveting. It was like a primetime Harvard lecture, and your energy was Snooze Fest 3000.
Yeah, I fucked that one up. But good news, we just got our first Patreon review from Jimmy on the Worms episode. He said, be a hater or not, but I love this episode. It's one of my favorites. That's what he said. Jimmy loved the Worm episode. It was a hit. Okay, thanks, Jay Shark. So I think if that doesn't wake you up, I don't know what will. But cup of coffee, cheers to get you started on this nice little day. And it's nice to be back, brother. It's nice to be back. Yeah, it's good to see you, man. It's funny because we haven't talked at all, so we got a lot loaded up in the cannon, ready to just fire onto these microphones. And the first thing that I want to say is this coffee is ass. So I'm in a Airbnb that's not actually an Airbnb. Don't tell. Shh. We basically, my now fiance. Spoiler alert. Whoa.
Yeah, she drinks at a cafe pretty regularly and here in Istanbul. So she was just talking to her homie about needing like a place to stay because like we're both looking for a place where we could live together. And the cafe owner overheard her and was like, "Hey, I got a place." And so they ended up talking. And this is I don't want to call it sketchy because I'm very grateful for this place. It's actually a solid spot. But there's no protections, there's no contract, this is not through any platform. Basically he was like, yeah, you want to come by, here's the keys, you can pay me any way you want. And that's amazing. Yeah, so we're just hoping that nothing crazy happens, but in the meantime shit's pretty cash. I just really love the fact that you're more sketched out about this Airbnb deal than you've ever been, it seems, about like sleeping on liquor store roofs or sleeping in IKEA after closing. There's so many other places you've slept in life that are, I feel like, so much less appropriate, but this is the one you're sketched out about. Yeah, just dude, there's something. It's like, imagine right now you go to New York City, you're sitting at a cafe and you're like, yeah, I just need a place to stay. And the cafe owner, yeah, he just says, yeah, I'll hook it up. And then you're like, oh, cool. So it's like you do Airbnb. He's like, no. and then he shows you some pictures on his phone of the place, takes you there, hands you the keys and says, pay me however you want. Like when you're staying in that place that night, do you feel safe? Because obviously he can have copies of the keys. Obviously anything can happen. Like it's just at any point he could come in and steal our shit or just tell us to leave and we've already paid him. Yeah. We're just screwed. I mean, it's interesting. This is a fine line between, is this a scary individual or the kindest person in the world? Is this hospitality or you're going to the hospital? Dude, it could go either way. Exactly, because he appears to be super nice, but it's sus. It's sus how nice he is. So it's like I don't know if we should just take his generousness and be like, oh, cool, appreciate that, or be like, why is he being so nice to us? Because maybe he listens to the pod. Oh, he's a fan.
He's brain gang.
Brain gang. Yeah, you're right.
Hibernation.
I don't know how much English he speaks, but he definitely just watches.
We're big in Turkey.
Yeah. Are we?
No, we're actually really big in Estonia.
Yeah. That's our demo.
Really big in Estonia. Most of our subscribers are Estonian. So shout out to Estonia again. You guys rule.
One day we'll learn how to say hello in Estonian. Actually, let's do it right now. Hello in Estonia.
I think you've tried on the last podcast. You said hello, and I was like, yes, probably. You just did a weird voice.
No. Okay. Do you know how to say? I'm going to teach you how to say hello. How are you in Estonian? Are you everybody ready to learn?
Yeah.
Okay. So hello is tere.
Tere.
And how are you is kuidas läheb.
Tere, kudas lahem. It's like I'm playing a game with a sim.
Tere. It does sound Simish.
It really feels like Simlish. Respectfully, sorry, Estonians. We just lost all our Estonian viewers right there with that one-off comment.
Can you give me a single fact about Estonia? Do you know anything about Estonia?
They're the cheapest place to advertise your YouTube video.
Bro, okay. Yeah, that counts.
Oh, I got another fun fact. I think, according to numbers, 1/10 of the population of Estonia has been served our content.
That's so crazy.
And it costs like $10.
Is our demo still like teenage girls?
No, our demo actually changed. If you want to get into that update,
I'm curious.
Okay, well, I got to give you a demographic update. Little under the hood for the last two brain cells. Chat. Let's go ahead and just start things off with something a little nice. I'm going to go ahead and open up a Blur Blast Interesting Hardcraft Seltzer, my one beer of the night. Now, there's not just personal gain here. I actually am doing this for our new demographic. Our new demographic, which you can start guessing who it is, loves when we do this. Hold.
Oh, no. Okay.
Oh! That was a good one.
Somebody just came. Somebody just came.
Not just somebody, but chat, we have new analytic numbers that I would like to show you. I'm currently looking at the facts. We have 3 top playlists that get most of our views for all of our videos. Playlist number 3 for our top most viewed playlist is Guest Spots. It's a guest spot playlist that we have of the time we had guests. Our second most listened to and viewed playlist is the Last Two Brain Cells official podcast playlist.
Nice.
Our first playlist where we have received... Our number one playlist where we have received 2,086 impressions, and our click-through rate is the highest out of all of them with an average view duration of 23 minutes, 77 hours watched on this one playlist alone.
They're fiending for these burps.
This playlist is entitled Burp Guys 2024.
Brother.
We are killing it on the Burp Guys 2024 playlist. So I found this out and I started running some data. On the next video, after I found this out, I specifically timestamped really good burp. I swear to you, go back, chat. I timestamped really good burp.
Bro, you're leaning into this? You're milking
our
this?
watch rate, chat? It was a line. Really good burp. Boom! 150% viewpoint. 150% viewpoint.
What the fuck?
We got a 150% massive fucking spike. Green candles up. Number goes up. And then we stopped burping. Back to 0.
Brother, why is your first
our new
instinct...
demographic.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, that was a good one.
Stop, please. I don't want to endorse this.
Online, come on in, fellas. Come on in.
Bro, why is your first instinct... This is not the content.
Come on. Get in here.
I will say, is there not a more fitting, like, accidental demo for us to fall into?
Bro, this playlist, I looked through it, is like 100 plus videos from this. This is not just a playlist. This is a yearly update that this person has been doing for years. This is the 2024 Burp Guys. And
how do they find us?
A ton of college boys and people that in their adult era just drinking beer and burping. And let me tell you, we've been getting a lot of comments from burpers specifically on on the video specifically where I highlighted that there was a burp in it. We got a comment from somebody named Wednesday Thursday that said burp rating 7 out of 10 laughing crying emoji. This same person commented months ago saying, could you guys do a burp contest? It's really funny.
Oh, no.
It's really funny. I think it's really funny. And then I see we're in this fetish playlist. And let me just say,
Brother, stop. Don't feed the beast. There's no,
oh, I squeezed that one out.
Oh.
I'm making this funny. This is the only way we're gonna make it. We're on episode 31. This is it. This is all we have.
brother, I'm like uncomfortable because when you moan after the burp, there's no hiding. You're sexualizing this, and
No.
what if what if it's not actual burp fetishists? What if Estonians are just kind of freaky like that?
Ooh, well then, Terre, welcome in. That's high.
Terre.
Terre.
Yeah, that's actually crazy and also very fitting. And you know what? If you're here for that and you want to stick around and enjoy some content too, fuck it, we'll burp.
Yeah. I'm not here to kink shame. If your thing is dudes burping, well then let me tell you, I've got the podcast for you.
Yeah. Because you don't
might have to do a burp special on the Patreon. We can do our biggest, best, and loudest burps of the year on Patreon.
If we come on through. We're gonna have a tier. So we got the Slimer tier, for the everyman who's down to support us. If we need to have a tier above Cum Ward that's just gonna be burp content,
I'm just here for the burps.
Yeah. Honestly, let's feed that. Let's do that.
Fuck it, dude. I've done weirder things online before, so this is fine with me.
Like what?
Like I did a 21-day subathon where I was literally live nonstop for 21 days, sleeping, eating, every moment of it I was on. So if burping is what I got to do to get the view count up, that's better than 21 days of unconsciousness.
Yeah, I suppose. I feel weird about this, to be honest. It's okay. It's
valid.
Burping is natural, obviously, and I would much prefer burps over farts. I've always been anti-fart.
You are anti-fart.
But it's just burping is just passing gas the front way, right? From
through
your
the front door.
Hole. Yeah. And
your face hole in the front.
But I'm so curious from a psychological perspective, how does somebody discover or develop like this fetish? What about burp? Because to the everyday individual, you hear a burp, you see a burp, and it's repulsive, right?
I laugh.
So at what point do you hear a burp or see a burp and you're like, huh?
I like to think like an adult's just at like a business dinner and he's like hanging out with his boss and he's like, yeah, so the quarterly numbers are and he goes, oh my God. Would you excuse me for a moment? And he he can't handle it. His hog is pressing up against the back of his jeans. It's really tough.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if we want to combine this with the erotica that I'm writing and just turn this into some burp erotica.
Yes.
Because the more niche you get, I think the higher people pay, That's
what I'm saying. Listen, listeners, we are trying so hard to make this a thing. If it's burps you want, if it's erotica, see, look, the view count number literally just went the fuck up.
We're going to have to, can we mark that?
We're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to do whatever. I will mark it. It'll be timestamped as pretty good burp.
Yeah, I mean, that was honest. I would give that burp a 3, and I'm sorry for all the fetishes out there who were trying to get their shit going, and then they heard that.
Yeah, I feel like that burp was kind of like a cum denial. Like you were ready for it, and then they were like, "No coming for you," because it was just so weak. But don't worry, Papa's got some big ones coming. Everybody.
Yeah, we're teasing for our outro today. It's actually just burping. So
yeah, just nonstop. I would keep the computer on and get our watch time to at least 4,000 hours so we can monetize if I were you.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we've talked about burps for about 10 minutes and lost everyone else except for the burp fetishists, let's start.
Numbers are up. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh, also, okay. Last note on the burps. We're 20 minutes in. Okay, so
you're gonna keep that. What was that?
Okay, so my fiance, she says some silly stuff sometimes, and is still learning some words in English, and burp is one of them. And the other day, we were on the couch, and I think I was drinking a beer or something, and I accidentally burped, and we're still to the point where whoa.
Yeah, that was an accident.
That was a ventriloquist burp because I didn't even see that happen, but it happened.
I didn't even move.
Yeah, but I'm on the couch and I let out a burp just like that, like on accident. And she was like, "How can
I love it.
And it killed. It's so cute, man.
You're gorped.
Every time now we call it Gorping.
Yeah, you gorped. That's Gorping. The Gorp community is going to love that.
Yeah. So this one's shout out to all the Gorp fetishes.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thanks for watching.
I think for our first couple of episodes, back when we were still audio only, we had this idea that was lovely. That was, we had to guess whose burp was whose because we were together and we could burp into the microphone. And that was fun. But we can't play that anymore. So
yeah,
we need to figure out how to bring that back with some advanced technology. Let's both do burp ventriloquism. What?
Ooh.
What?
I would say we just tell the viewer to use their eyelids and close them. You can say, close your eyes, and then you can play along.
But what if you're like, because I guess.
What if you're a cheater?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to protect from cheaters.
I think that's bordering. That's getting really, really close to like jack off instructionals. Of like, all right, boys and girls, like close your eyes.
We got to make it. We got to make it. We got to make it.
We'll
do anything to keep this pod alive.
Oh yeah, almost anything. All right, let's hop into it. We got to catch up a little bit, so we got a few things lined up today. But first, some stories about the last month or so because we haven't talked, and also the people don't know what's going on in our lives. So
here's some things that are coming in hot. Donovan was on an airplane, and he had some problems with the exit door. I'll tell you that. I also have some stories from TwitchCon. We have a story about how we got Enrique's car dented. It wasn't his fault. It was ours. We're going to tell you about something scary. It's not scary at all. It's called the Skeleton Coast Safari. The Road to the Skeleton Coast. It's a very fun little story that I'm about to tell you about scammers from 2006. We also have a tragedy etymology time game, which is a combination of tragedy and a dad joke and etymology time, which is fun. And then we might have an ethical discussion about appropriate graffiti. That and more on this episode of The Last Two Brain Cells. Where do we want to start? I think we start with the airplane. Or the live update. You were saying, did I hear the word fiance?
Yeah, dude. Okay. We'll set a little backstory for the airplane story with, I'm engaged, dog. I'm engaged. Oh. I'm ready to be tied down for the rest of my life. I'm in love with this woman. She's in love with me. And we're ready to tie the knot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, brother. So.
Hell yeah. Commitment. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man. We were about a month back. We were back in the mountains in Albania up north. There's a beautiful set of mountains that are called the Albanian Alps, otherwise known as the Accursed Mountains, which is a pretty fucking metal name. Mm-hmm. And we did an all-day hike. Towards the end of it, I dropped a knee. She said yes. The rest is history.
Well, look at you. Finally did it, brother. That's a beautiful thing.
Yep, wrangled myself my own hog.
Wow, that's just lovely. I knew you could do it.
Thank you.
I knew you could do it the whole time.
Yep. So we got to talk details, but I'd love to get you out here if we ever have anything, akin to a wedding.
I wouldn't miss it. I will be there.
All right. But yeah, so in the meantime, we were in Albania and we line up, we hop on the plane, everyone gets seated, all of our luggage is put away, and I'm making small talk with the guy to my right. He's just like a older, I think, Albanian guy. And then we stop because we notice behind us at the back of the plane, like people started to turn around. Like everyone in front of us turned around and was looking towards the back. Yeah. And I heard like some muffled yelling at the back of the plane. And so
are you in the air at this point or are you still on the runway?
We're still on the runway, but we're like ready to take off. Like it's going to happen very soon. And then, so we hear this. I turn back and I see somebody fall, like somebody just go down. As soon as I turn around, it happened. And then,
oh shit.
Yeah. And then on the intercom, the captain says something in Albanian. He's like, blah, 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 blah. And a bunch of dudes on the plane, just random passengers, get up and start running towards the back of the plane. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And so everyone is glued to the back, just like, what's going on, trying to figure out. It's a little bit chaotic. And eventually, after a few minutes, the guys who went back there start walking back to their seats towards the front of the plane. And then we're all like just generally confused. I'm talking to the guy next to me, and he's thinking that somebody went crazy and the guys were like flying to the back to try to basically hold him down and just like assist with the flight stewardess.
Wow.
And so, yeah, everyone's getting different bits of information. We're trying to piece it together. And then eventually, after a few more minutes, they say we have to deboard the plane. When we get off the plane, we see that the emergency slide and the rear emergency exit, they're both open and on. Like the slide is down.
Oh, shit. Someone pulled it.
Yeah. So the short of it is that a guy had gotten up like from the back of the plane right before takeoff and opened the emergency exit, activated the slide, and I guess tried to just bounce, try to just bail last minute. And the prevailing theory, so that this ended up like on the news, it was like a crazy incident. But I ended up befriending the guy who was at the back and witnessed everything. And we talked about it later. The guy who I talked with was Persian, or at least he spoke Persian. And he was saying the guy who went crazy was also Persian. And most likely he was being forced to leave Albania to go back home. And he wanted to make a run for it because he didn't want to leave the country.
Whoa!
And I think there were possibly some like unstable, like mental issues going on with this guy. And so when he got up, he was yelling shit in Persian, or I'm not sure if it's Persian or Farsi. And he actually knocks the stewardess down and they start to like wrestle each other because the stewardess is like, hey, you can't open this door, the emergency exit. And when they're wrestling, I guess she gets a little bit injured. And then, the other people start to come in and help and hold this guy down. And the whole time in Persian, he's yelling like, help, 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 or something like that. It's just a crazy, unfortunate scenario.
Wow, that's bananas, dude. I feel like that's like my worst nightmare on a plane is someone just like losing it and cracking and just going to open one of those doors up. And I can't believe that actually happened to you.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like there were some people on the plane who were actually pretty shook up by it. And the hard part is after that, it was a whole nother event basically of just like uncertainty and chaos. And we spent the next couple of hours with no information. So when we got escorted back to the gate, it was literally just us passengers and no other officials. There were no police. There was no airline like crew, anything. And so we were just waiting, not sure if we were going to still fly out, not sure if anything was going to happen with that plane
Wow.
And the passengers started to get rowdy, bro, and restless. And it was sort of like a coup that happened where there was one older guy who was just not having it. And he starts to like really, he starts to have like little arguments with other people. Like he's really pissed off. His gestures are really aggressive. And then other people kind of join him. And then we hear on the intercom, like the airport intercom, we hear ding, 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 ding. And they basically hijacked the intercom and they were just spamming that shit. And then the guy gets onto the intercom.
Chaos.
And he starts to just mouth off, bro. I don't know what he's saying in Albanian, but he mouths off. And then everyone around him starts to applaud like he's some revolutionary leader. And then there's fucking cops walking by us and just doing nothing. Like it's another day. Yeah.
That's nuts, dude. That sounds like absolute chaos.
It is. And so eventually the cops come and start talking to the guy. But this guy is being aggressive. If this guy made the same gestures and was like as aggressive to an American cop, I guarantee he's tased down and arrested. Like,
yeah,
he was being really aggressive. And so is the rest of the mob. Eventually they chill out and airline crew come. And it's just such a confusing, and it's another one of these times when we're just trying to gather any sort of information. We don't know what's happening to our baggage that we checked in, if we're going to make our flight to Istanbul. And so eventually what happens is they scramble another plane for us. So they find another plane from a sister airline that's called Georgian Wings. And
ooh,
I swear they brought this plane from like the Stranger Things universe, bro. It's old. It's dilapidated. No one's ever heard of this shit. We get on and the crew is behaving like it's some haunted mansion shit. they're like, there's bags under their eyes. They've clearly just worked like a 16-hour double shift. Yeah, and they're pissed off. The passengers are pissed off. It's just a general air of shittiness.
Damn.
And so, but to even get on the plane, we had to like kind of smuggle our way through. Like everyone's just kind of crowding, trying to get in, and it's such a chaotic, unorganized, probably not legal process. At first they were only letting people on who had connecting flights, and then they were only letting on women, and then eventually Damla, my fiance, fights her way to the front, and she's like, come on, follow me. And so we get through. But it was like a very close process. And so
that's nuts.
And we get on the plane. There's no seating arrangement. It's just like, find a fucking spot. And so we sit down. It's like, Georgia Wings. Welcome to Georgia Wings.
Yeah, Georgia Wings with the W.
And I mean, no diss to Georgian Wings. Maybe it's a great airline, but our experience with it was that the plane itself was quite old, and I hope well maintained, but it didn't appear to be.
They saved your day. Shout out to Georgia Wings. If they want to sponsor the pod, come on through. I mean, that's a good review.
Thank you, Georgia Wings, for real. And so, so we ended up making it back to Istanbul. And then there was a whole nother fucking story of getting back to their apartment. We took the wrong bus. We got a ride from some random person we had just met. We ended up getting in at fucking 6 a.m. It was a long, long day. But in the end, we're all right. We're safe. There were some people that got shook up. But, you know, that's life sometimes. And I'm just happy to have made it back.
Amen. I'm happy you made it back, too.
Yeah. So
I thought originally that the door was open like in the air. So thank God it was on the ground.
Yeah, no, that would have been crazy.
Really nuts.
Yeah, I think that it's basically not possible to open the door midair because of the back pressure. So the air cabin is pressurized, but there's a lot of pressure around the cabin too. And I think it would just, so there's actually no locks from what I've heard on those doors, because obviously anyone should be able to open its emergency exit. But physically speaking, nobody is really strong enough to open the door when it's in flight.
Wow. That's actually something I did not know.
Yeah.
I had no clue, because I've always been in fear that someone's just going to lose it and rip that shit open.
Yeah. The only thing you have to worry about is if you're flying with Boeing, then potentially the door or just a section of the wall will fly off.
That's never going to happen at Georgia Air.
No. If you're flying Boeing, thoughts and prayers. But otherwise, you're fine. Yeah.
You're going to catch me on Georgian Air from here on out. That's the place.
I know that you've been doing some travel recently too. And from what little I've heard of your past month, you went to TwitchCon?
Yes. So TwitchCon 2024 just happened. It's crazy that we actually did a TwitchCon episode a year ago. We've actually been doing this long enough that I've gone to 2 TwitchCons now during the pod.
Wait, so we had our podiversary.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Crazy. We've been doing this for a year. But yes, I went to TwitchCon San Diego, and this year was really, really good. But I had one moment specifically that I wanted to share with the pod because I feel like it is so relatable to both you, me, and hopefully the listener. I went to the TwitchCon block party. There was a event on Saturday night where TwitchCon rented out the entirety of the Gaslamp district. So there's free food, and you had 3 drink tickets. And I was like, this is actually a really good party. They did a really good job with the catering. And I see 3 drink tickets. I'm like, that's an opportunity. But what if I can get some more? What if I can walk out of here not handing even one of my drink tickets to them? So I think I got a plan.
Wait, so you got 3 free tickets and you're like, I'm not using any of these.
Any of these. Fuck them. Okay. I felt like I want to walk in and get my money's worth without spending my tickets. So I think, watch this. I'm gonna finesse. So I walk up to the bar. I say, "Can I get a Coors Light?" And they hand me the Coors Light. I just grab it. I just turn around and I go. I just leave. I just leave.
Wait, you're trying to pull a fast one. You're dying and dashing.
100%. It's a catered event, and
you just stole a beer. Bro,
also,
shiesty ass. Okay.
Let me tell you, this event also cost $100 to go to. So
okay, steal beer. Yeah.
Take them.
Run.
So I thought $100. That's $10 a beer if I drink 10 of them.
So, that's still expensive.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad. I got to get my money's worth. So I grab the beer. I just fucking turn around and leave. And I realize this bartender doesn't even care. He doesn't care in the slightest. So I think, This is my guy. I drink the beer. I go back. I get another one. Do the same routine. I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm hot shit right now. I got 3 drink tickets, 2 beers in. I'm killing it. I start sharing the news with friends. I start telling people, I go, that's the guy. Go to that guy, get your beer, and just fucking leave and just walk out.
Yeah, you got the scoop. This is Ocean's 11 for beer.
I'm feeling really good about myself, especially the more beer I drink. Next beer. It's going well. I'm watching the karaoke set. They're singing Country Roads. It's TwitchCon. This all checks out.
Yep.
We have about 5 minutes left in the party. And I go up to someone who was there and I say, man, I've been just fucking robbing them blind of their beer. And I'm really proud of myself. You and I both know that beer tastes better when it's stolen.
Yep.
Or you're not supposed to be drinking it secretly, or taking a free beer or a cheap beer. But I just heisted my way through TwitchCon beers, and I am proud to steal from TwitchCon when it comes to the beer department. That's our beer. And 5 minutes left in the party, I tell a friend, he goes, oh, bro, you didn't know? I go, didn't know what? I'm like many beers deep. He goes, all the beers are free.
Oy.
And I just go, fuck, I really thought I was pulling a fast one. No one cared that I was taking free beer because the drink tickets were for hard liquor drinks. The beer was just unlimited. So I spent my entire party feeling like an absolute legend, just stealing beer after beer after beer, only to find out I was doing nothing wrong. I really thought I was pulling the heist of the century, just absolutely getting their goat, and they got me at the end of the day. And that's Amazon. You got to watch out for Amazon. They own Twitch. They're here to scam you. Scamazon got me again.
Yeah, one day we'll get him, man. But I think
I'm gonna take their beers whether they like it or not.
It's a really good reminder that perception is reality, bro, and that's the most powerful thing in the world. Because for that party, you felt like the fucking man, you know.
I would have had a lot less fun. I would have drank a lot less beers if I thought they were free. I'd be like, oh, I don't really care. But I was drinking them for the fucking culture.
Sometimes
I was like, I'm getting my money's worth. Fuck them up. I felt so good. And then when it hit that I was not pulling a heist, all I could do was say, well, I'm going to put this in my notes for the pod.
Yeah.
Because that happens.
So did you use your drink tickets?
Yeah, after I found out the beer was free, I went and I said, I also pulled another heist because I was like, we got 5 minutes left. I might as well get like fucked up because we're at the event and we're going home after this. I say,
it's not BizCon, it's TwitchCon.
I say, hey, I just got here. I was late. I show all 3 of my drink tickets. I say, can I just get like shots worth of that and like a beer? And so they pour me a fucking huge one. So I'm like, oh yeah, sorry you just got here. I'm like, yeah, bummer.
Bro, get on like, you. But you should, I guarantee you were sloppy drunk already. And you show up here.
Oh yeah.
I just started. I just got here.
I just got here, bro.
Yeah.
No. And they were like, and they gave me the drinks worth and a beer. And I walked out of that party a happy camper.
Good for you, man. Good for you. It sounds like a good night.
Yeah. It was a good event. Shout out to TwitchCon 2024. It was good. It was fun. It was a really good one. They did a good job.
Cool. I'm glad, man. Yeah. I'm glad. I didn't know it was in San Diego.
Yeah. San Diego, I think it's going to be in San Diego for the next couple of years, too. I think it's the best venue they've ever done. They did TwitchCon Vegas last year, which was a fun idea in theory, but no one's going to the fucking convention when there's gambling to do. Yeah. No one went to the con. When you're in San Diego, there's not as much to do. So everyone actually went, and it was a really good time. It was very fun.
Did you see any hype celeb sightings or
I saw the juicer himself, XQC, just looking absolutely miserable outside of a hotel. There was an issue this year where Kick streamers decided it was time to do edgy protesty type shit, and they pulled up to TwitchCon and just tried to clown on big streamers by just like trolling them. And the good news is the general perception is everyone's like, fuck those guys, they were all shitty, and they were all shitty.
Yeah.
The Kick streamers really came through and showed their true colors. One of them even pushed another streamer into a moving train.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's like attempted murder.
Yeah, but on Kick, it's fair game. And it was a crazy experience where their whole thing was, we need to go to TwitchCon and tell everybody to stop streaming on Twitch and stream on Kick instead. And their idea of how to sell that to people was to just be publicly absolute assholes and menaces, and think that was really going to like sell the whole thing. And the good news is even Kick banned a lot of those people, which that's unheard of. Kick banning someone, you must have really fucked up.
That's crazy.
It was nuts.
The Just Stop Oil protesters. It's kind of a similar thing of like, you can't just like be a provocative sensationalist asshole to try to support your cause. You know what I mean? Like, don't throw paint and shit on the Mona Lisa to be like evil oil, evil bad. And you know what I mean?
I have a theory, and I wish I had a beer because this is a conspiracy with a beer in me, but I have a theory about the Stop Oil protesters.
Oh, it's made by the oil companies. Yeah.
That shit's big oil coming through to make us all, because obviously oil's fucking bad, but the way they're going about it, like throwing paint on the Mona Lisa is like, oh, fuck those guys. I feel like it is if big oil was running a scheme to make them look chill, hire some people, pay them to protest oil in asshole-ish ways, so that way we're like more anti-protesters than oil that is going to kill our planet. Yeah. That's my conspiracy with a beer in me. Realistically, there's a huge likelihood it's just protesters doing it terribly. Yeah. But I also believe realistically there is a shot that big oil is pulling some bullshit. So that's my conspiracy with a beer in me.
You got a good point there. You got a good point, man. I unfortunately just think that they're that stupid. But that's actually that's a 4D chess maneuver from those guys. And it's the same thing. No cap. This happened January 6th. They were all hired they were liberals. They were liberals pretending to be conservatives to give them a bad name when they took over the White House. You think our God-fearing, red-blooded American Republican Party members are going to storm our beautiful White House? No way. Yes. No way in hell.
No, we're getting out. This is not InfoWars. We're the last two brain cells. This is not that podcast.
All right. Sorry about that. I got off topic. Hey, I got to bust a piss. You want to piss?
Dude, I'm going to bust a pee.
Dude, my legs have been crossed for a while. Okay, let's pee.
Okay.
The boys are taking a PeePee break. We'll be right back.
So how was your piss?
Oh, it was good, but it was lonely. This is our first episode we had to pee apart, and let me just tell you, I did not like it. I went to the backyard for ceremonial sake. My cactuses are looking good, and they're well fed now.
Good.
How was yours?
Good. It was nice, man. Really average. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Enrique Cardent experience.
Okay, this is one of those things where this is an episode in which we like to usually talk like history or facts or like based in not just our personal lives, but we've been apart for a long time. And this next one is a personal dump from our lives that I feel like has to be put on the table because this is one of the craziest close to getting into bad scenarios I've been in a long time.
I think we did get in a bad scenario. So
no, it was bad.
So we decided, okay, let's have a little roommate going away, kind of lunch. And we decided to go to this place. I won't say the exact name, but it was a nearby cafe that I love. And so we go there, we sit down, and we start having a delicious meal together.
It's cute. It's wholesome. It's family time. It's goodbye, Donovan. We love you, Donovan. Everyone say 3 things you liked about Donovan being here. It was fun. It was cute. And then I hear a little chirp in the back of my ear, and it's getting a little obnoxious. There's a man arguing with the man at the register, and this customer is getting a little Karen-y real quick.
Yeah, and before long, it's not just idle chatter in the background. They're pretty much yelling at each other back and forth, and it's a sustained argument. It's to the point where the whole restaurant has sort of stopped what they're doing, and they're all watching this drama unfold at the doorway. And it's just this guy and his wife, and they're yelling at the server guy or the cash register guy. And he's not letting it. He's not letting it fly. He's yelling back.
Yeah. So I gotta be honest. Thing about me, I love to eavesdrop. If you see my beanie go above my ear, I'm probably listening on someone's conversation. To be completely honest with you, so I eavesdrop this one, and I'm like, this has got to be like a serious altercation. If we're getting into a rustle tussle at the counter for this long, at this point we're on like 5, maybe 10 minutes. They're going and going and going. Yeah. The issue at hand. The freshness of the French fries that were served to this person.
Insane.
The freshness quality of the French fries that this person was served. And they didn't ask for new fries. They didn't ask for them to be redone. They threw them on the counter and said, "We don't want these."
No.
And this guy literally is holding his fries, trying to show the cash register man, "These aren't good quality," and he's just being a dick about it.
Being a dick. And the thing is, sometimes the customer is right, but absolutely not always. And this is a scenario where this guy and his wife, they were simply not being reasonable. They weren't being nice people. They did not have a good argument. They were just behaving like entitled assholes. And I have no patience for that. And so,
Zero.
So while they're doing this shit, we start to boo the guy. And the restaurant proper starts to get involved. And so our table and another table basically starts to go, boo,
Boo! Go home. And it's not just our table. Other tables going, go home. We're all done with our food by now. The whole time we were eating, this argument's happening. And it's hard not to listen because it is very overwhelmingly the noise of the restaurant. The guy eventually leaves and he walks outside and he says, "I'll be coming back in the morning at opening. He pulled the "Do you know who I am" card. And the guy says, "No." Because, yeah, I don't know. You're some guy. And he says, "I eat here all the time. I come here constantly." And this guy says, "I work Monday through Friday. I've never seen you."
Yeah.
And the guy leaves and he goes and just stands outside the restaurant like menacingly and angrily. We end up wrapping up our meal. The guy's been gone for a while. He should have cooled down at this point.
Yeah.
And we pack our stuff up and we start to leave the restaurant.
Yeah. And just a note, when he leaves, we all applaud. The entire restaurant is like
everybody.
No. So everyone is clearly on the side of the guy who works at the restaurant, right? We're all applauding. And when we go to pay, I say, tell the guy, like, "Hey, like, you handled that great. Sorry about that guy. Some people are just dicks." And he's like, "Yeah, man, you know what? It happens." He's just the chillest dude. And
super cool.
Yeah. So this is when shit hits the fan. So we clearly were not being nice to this guy who's being an asshole. We walk out of the restaurant and we're being a little bit antagonistic. Okay.
This was bad.
I turn to the guy, I look at him, and I chuck the sassiest peace sign, and I say,
and he says, "What are you laughing at?"
Yeah.
And so he started talking you hit him with the peace sign, which was like cute and funny. And he starts throwing, "What are you laughing about?"
Yeah, and he's aggressive.
You come in with the banger.
He's still fired up. He's like red in the face, and he's like talking to his wife. Like, unfortunately, I don't think he's very nice to people around him, including his wife. And it's an unfortunate situation. But so
and you hit him with the this.
We hit him with the peace sign. He starts to clap back, and so I hit him with the "See you later, little guy," and he hated that. He really.
But apparently, that's not the right thing to say to someone who is fully like already hold me back, bro, mad.
No, he's
and
trying to be
I just start laughing. I start laughing because that was funny that you said that. And he goes, "What are you laughing at?" And then he calls me a slur for being gay. And then I hit him with the toodaloo fingers. And I say, "Bye-bye." I said, "Bye-bye," in the sassiest fucking way. And I should have maybe not said anything at all. But we walk back to our car and we're about to get in. And he's still fucking spouting. He's screaming.
Fuming. And so he's calling us a lot of different slurs. Like there's some F stuff, some R stuff, some other things. And we're just being silly.
We're just laughing.
Yeah. He's throwing heavyweight blows and we're just not treating him seriously. We're admittedly being antagonistic. But so I'm like, "Yeah, bye, little guy. See you, little guy." And, you're hitting him with some good
I hit him with I said another stupid one, which I shouldn't have said this. It was really dumb. He said, "Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Why are you fucking laughing?" And I said, "Well, if you don't want us to laugh, stop acting like a clown."
Yeah.
Which was really dumb. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. And so anyway, so we pile into the car. It's me, you, and Enrique. We turn the engine on. And then as we start to back up out of the parking lot, we see him start to sprint at our car. And
the
he's
fastest this man has ever run in his life.
And not only that, his homies were sprinting at the car too. So I didn't see, but he actually had a very scary looking friend that was running with him. And so they're both full on like Iron Man Terminator sprinting at the car. Enrique, bless his soul, is calm, but he's a relatively slow driver. And so we're backing out of the spot. They're running full speed and We're like, lock the doors, go, go, go.
I'm scrambling. I'm like manually reaching to every door and like clicking the little things to make sure it's locked. And I'm turning around, looking through the back window, and there's this man is fucking sprinting the fastest I've ever seen an angry person of his size sprint.
Yeah, his size. Yeah, and so he's like the T1000, but more like the T100, and he's
really bad.
And so finally, we get into drive. We're driving out of the parking lot, but there's incoming traffic, and so we have to stop and wait for a gap to open up for us to pull onto the road. In the meantime,
we're yielding.
He gets to our car, and we hear boom, and we're like, "What the fuck is happening? Did he just hit our car?" And Enrique is pulling out into the main street. We kind of do some unsafe operations to basically evade this guy, and we do a U-turn, and we're basically watching, like, is he still running after us? Did he get into a car? Is he tailing us?
I also got to add, as soon as we were officially for sure on the highway getting away, we rolled down our window and yelled, "Bye-bye!"
Yeah.
One more time. And that's when you're like, oh shit, he better not like follow us.
Yeah. Because you don't know. People can be so unpredictable and scary. And this guy is clearly just does not have a lid on his anger. And so you don't know if he has a gun or whatever. If he's willing to fucking chase us and hit our car, anything can happen. So it's a little bit sketchy. Adrenaline's pumping. We end up making it back to the house. We make sure we're not being followed. And we're like, phew, thank goodness he was little and couldn't have done any damage to the car.
And I turn around and I look and I'm like, we're good. He hit like the window or something. It's totally cool. But we turn around and look at the bumper of this car. And this man fucking, boom, horse kicked this thing. And there's a big dent in Enrique's car. And so we would like to formally apologize to Enrique.
Sorry, Enrique.
We fucked up. If we could help you out anyway, we would love to.
Yeah.
And also, we got to make this a good story. We got to add the moral of the story. The moral of the story is... What did you say? You put it very well.
I think... Well, let's say the moral at the same time. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
the
the moral of the story is... Don't call little guy little before you get in the car doors are locked and you're ready to drive away.
No. I think the moral of the story was when people are throwing negativity at you, maybe you can just catch it and not throw anything back and just diffuse it maybe a little more casually. Because, like we said, you never know when someone's going to do something actually nuts. And, it may have been fun. It may have felt like good quality street justice to wave him with some little sassy fingers. And it did feel good. I can't lie to you.
Yeah.
But did we need to do it?
No.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah, okay, so long story short, this guy was clearly a douchebag, but don't provoke people in public. You just never know with people. So on the real, is what we did smart? No. And do we feel bad for Enrique and his car? Yeah. But, did he deserve it? Probably. This guy's a fucking doucher. So,
These guys suck a lot. I gotta give credit to where credit is due. This guy was asshole of the year.
Yeah, is what it is. But
like some people get holes in their jeans for designer purposes. I think denting your car is kind of rock and roll.
That's a very fair point. Have you told him that?
No, I'm going to let him know in the morning.
Yeah. Hit him up with that. I think he'll appreciate that.
Yeah, good morning, man. Did you ever think about that dent in your car and how it's actually really cool?
Yeah. Hey, if you have a dent in your car, you are the lucky listener.
Lucky listener of the week.
Yeah.
You earned it. Walk around with that dent with pride. I think a dent is a story in disguise.
Wear that shit because you don't want to live. I actually am a firm believer in living your life such that at the end of your life, when you're ready to pass on, you don't want to have a perfect temple of a body with no scars and wrinkles. I want to look like an old raisin that was left in the desert for years and just weathered and scarred and broken. And I think, if you're treating your shit in the same way, then it's going to get some scrapes and scratches and dents and bruises. And that's part of life, baby. So wear that shit with
boy, what a ride. What a ride, baby. What a ride. I want to look like shit with you, man. I can't wait to look like shit together.
We're going to be some flea bag ass, hog ass hoes when we're about to go, baby. But it's going to be
We're going to go from being an audio podcast to a video podcast because our viewers asked us to do video to our viewers who say, can you please stop doing video, go back to audio because we're so
stand just looking at the sight of you withered skeleton shit.
My eyes!
But
Yeah,
we'll still listen to your burps though.
Oh, can you please gorp for us?
Yeah, man. No, I intend to deserve that death. You know what I mean? I tend to earn that death.
Amen. Earn that shit, bro. Earn it.
Yeah, amen. But anyway, so that's the car story.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to heaven. And Peter's like, "What'd you do in your life?" And the goal is to have the scroll go for so fucking long that he's gonna be like, "I just get in there.
Yeah,
It's a lot to read. There's a lot to read. Just get in there."
This is as kind of normal for us, running a little bit long, and so we're gonna.
that's us, baby. We're always running a little long. You know what I mean? Hey, now.
So we're bumping some stuff to the next episode, free next episode, guys. But for now, we really, really want to get to this juicy segment, which is tragedy etymology time. Yeah. This is a little bit of a remix of two of our classics, which is tragedy dad joke plus etymology time. And
a little mashup.
So, Austin, I will ask you to go ahead and look at our episode show notes and scroll to the very bottom. What do you see?
Oh, wow. I see a book page that was scanned, and it says at the top title, "The Diseases and Casualties This Year," being 1632.
Yes. And so what this is actually a direct scan of a newspaper from London from 1632 and a list of both the cause of death and number of people who died from that cause. And if you're scanning this list, you'll notice some really fucking crazy things.
Wow. So I'm just looking at this list for the first time viewing, and it's basically a stats tracker for how people died. Like 628 people died from age, for being old. 3 people died from bleeding out. 1 was bit by a mad dog.
Crazy shit, right? Look at the very last one. It says worms.
Worms. 27 people died of worms
in
1632?
Who the fuck knows what that means? So there's a lot of these words that we just don't use anymore. And so I want you to take a guess at some of these, and then I'll tell you what that actually means for the cause of death.
I love it. There's one person who was killed by this, and it says, affrighted.
Yeah.
Did they get too scared?
Yeah, so literally what this means is they died from shock or severe fright. They were affrighted to death.
Affrighted?
Following that is ague, A-G-U-E. What do you think that is?
Ague? They died from a scary ague. I feel like ague is when you maybe like, aging, you go from 1 to 99. Ague is when you Benjamin Button the thing and go backwards. You go until you're a baby, you pop, you're gone.
Good guess. Now, so 43 people did not die from Benjamin buttoning. It's actually just malaria or fever.
That's so much boringer.
Next up is apoplexy and megrom. 17 people died from this. What does that mean?
Megrom. Oh, dude, you're a meager grom at the beach. You know, so we grew up at the beach. We're beach kids. You'd refer to a beach kid as a grom. Like, what's up, grom? And if they were meager. So they're a meager grom.
You don't want to be a meager grom.
These meag groms just didn't have enough sauce. They were too sketch, and it was a little too gnar for them.
And they died from that.
Yeah, it happens. I've seen it.
So megrom is just a stroke. They just died from stroke.
Oh.
Yeah.
They were stroking it?
So 3 people died from bleeding, which essentially just means hemorrhaging. 348 people died from bloody flux, scouring, and flux. What do you think that means?
What the fuck is bloody flux? What in the bloody flux is that? You know, I mean, that's how a British person cusses. What the bloody flux? I'm gonna guess, is a heart attack.
Good guess. So bloody flux, scouring, and flux really just means dysentery. So you're shitting to death.
Damn it. That's a poop thing.
Yep. Next up, 28 people died from bruised issues, sores, and ulcers.
Hey, we all die from issues. Issues happen.
That just basically means infections. Next up, 5 people were burnt or scalded to death. Pretty self-explanatory. Bummer. Or 9 people died from burst and rupture. Any guess on that?
Well, I like to think that it's like in the first Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Willy Wonka movie where Violet Beauregard is blowing up like a blueberry and she gets really fucking big. And she's like about to burst, but I really imagine this is probably like your intestines just having too much poopers in there, or like your colon or some internal piece saying, I can't do it no more, and then popping like a balloon.
Yep, medically that is accurate. Basically, it just means you have a hernia or an aneurysm to death. All right, next up is cancer and wolf.
This is the one I was talking about. So this one is cancer, comma, and wolf.
Yeah.
So did like 9 people die from cancer and 1 dude was attacked by a wolf? They ran out of paper? Like what happened there?
The only explanation I have for this is it just means cancer. So I don't know why it says cancer and wolf, but 10 people died from cancer and wolf.
And wolf. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then we have 1 death from canker.
That's gotta be like canker sores in your mouth. It's like medical mouth issues.
Ding, ding, ding. You're exactly right on that.
Bingo.
Yeah. So this one's interesting. So colic, stone, and stranguary. 56 people passed away from this. What do you think that means?
Stranguary, I would imagine, is like being strangled, but colic, is that people who like hung themselves or like, I don't know, you're melancholic? I don't know. I don't know.
Good guesses. Maybe take a hint from stone. How could you die from stone?
Stone? Is it a stoning? No. Kidney stones?
Yeah, it's a kidney stone.
Damn, they gotta go on Big Thunder Mountain in the back seat and they'll be okay.
1,797 people died from consumption. And this one, if you're a history fan, you've heard of this. It just means tuberculosis.
Wow.
Next up, this one's interesting. Convulsion. 241 people died from convulsion.
Is that seizures?
Exactly. Yeah, you're okay.
Wow.
3 points, baby. You're killing it.
Woo! I'm not going to die from not having any points. That's for sure.
I will drink a beer right now at noon. If you guess the next one, it's cut of the stone. 5 people died from cut of the stone.
Fuck. It's when you get a abrasive cut to your head. Your head is the stone.
Good guess. Nope. It's really just kidney stone surgery.
Damn, I almost pulled that out. I was gonna say I can't just because there's no way they were doing like surgery back then. They were just dealing with it and dying. That's what the other one was for.
I mean, you can't imagine how horrific that procedure must have been.
Surgery back then is just terrifying. It's like watching the movie Saw, but it's for making sure you medically advance.
Yeah,
like you're just gonna get your shit cut off, and it's like, well, deal with it. You want to play a game? You want to be alive? It's terrible.
Did you hear about the surgeon back in this era that had a 300% mortality rate for one of his procedures?
300%? How do you do that?
Basically, so he killed the person he was operating on and his assistant and himself in the same procedure.
That's a high score. That's crazy. We're going to have to talk about that in the future. I can't believe it.
Yeah. But for now, back to the list. We have dead in the street and starved. 6 people died from this, which is actually shockingly low. What do you think? What do you think dropsy and swelling is? 267 mortalities.
I feel like I've heard the term dropsy, but
this one's a tough one.
Drop and swelling. It's when your legs get really big and then you can't walk anymore.
Actually, pretty close. Yeah, it's it's edema or congestive heart failure, which I think maybe
pretty close,
like swelling.
Pretty close, huh?
Yeah. All right. Next up, drowned, 34 people. Next up, executed and pressed to death. 18 people died from executed and pressed to death.
Is this when they put you between 2 stone tablets and try to get you like confess things or torture you till you died?
I think that's right. Yeah, it's basically
for executed purposes.
Yeah, torture or just direct execution.
Damn,
pretty gnarly. All right,
a pressing of the stone.
Now, this is an old school term, falling sickness. 7 people died from this. Basically just means epilepsy. Next up, 1,108 people died from fever. Bummer. Could be a bunch of different things, but they didn't really know back then. Now, this one is probably my favorite of the list. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm reading it.
13 people died of fistula.
Fistula. That sounds like an evil villain that's gonna like put their hand deep inside your butthole.
Yes.
It's I am fistula.
It's like
fistula.
a Marvel villain.
I think I saw that one before.
Yeah.
It's when yeah, I think this one's I don't think I'm gonna get this one.
This one's exactly what you're thinking. So can you explain
It's
this?
when you put both your fists inside your butt until you die.
You're so close. The only explanation I have is anal fistula. So I don't know what that means. Anal fistula.
We did it! That's more points.
What is it? Oh my God.
I'm gonna Google fistula too. This is my streaming computer. This is a bad idea. I have a mirror behind me. Never mind.
This description is shocking. Okay, so please cover your ears if you are sensitive towards really vile shit. So an anal fistula is a tunnel that develops between the inside of the anus and the outside skin around the anus.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Digging a cavern? Like you dug a cavern there?
It's like a second ass.
2 buttholes?
Honestly, lucky.
I might be deaths of 2024. 1 fistula.
Anal fistula, Austin
Actually, it's like 2 fistulas. Donovan and Austin. 2 fistula deaths.
I mean, if you have to
pick obituaries.
Pick one item from the list so far, we're taking, it's either fistula or egg, right?
I'm getting fistulas.
Or cut of the stone.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah, I might get cut of the stone. I might get pressed, too, after this episode comes out.
For sure, bro. All right, next up is flocks and smallpox, 531 deaths. Bummer. French pox, 12.
What's flocks?
So
is flocks like a term of for chicken pox type thing?
It's just the same thing as smallpox.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. However, French pox is not smallpox. This is actually just what we called syphilis.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. So they the English and the French maybe didn't like each other too much at this day, so they just blamed this horrible sexual disease on the French. Which, hey, I don't blame them.
It's a wee disease.
Yeah. Next up, 5 people died from gangrene and 4 people died from gout. So that's the first column. And
that's crazy. It's column 1.
Yeah, so we'll have column 2 coming up next episode. But how fucking crazy is this? It's fascinating how much medical terminology has changed, and also just how people have died has changed over the years.
I want to see the numbers. I've always dreamed, if heaven's a real thing, my favorite room is going to be the stats department. Like how many times you cummed, how many times you poopied, how many podcast episodes there were, and how good they actually were. God will tell you. And I feel like stats are what make the world go round. To see stats this old gets me excited.
Yeah. Hey, do you think God watches Rogan?
Oh, he watches every podcast because he's omnipresent. Just know if you have 0 viewers on Twitch, you actually have 1 viewer. It's God. It's okay. One time I raided a channel for a guy who was playing a game called The Story of the Bible. Meaning I sent my audience to his channel. And so immediately he gave me a shout out. And when he gave me a shout out, a clip from my channel came on the screen. And it was me writing the word penis on a car with spray paint on a video game. And so he's just playing the actual story of Jesus Christ. And it's just me being like, yeah, fuck yeah, baby. Fuck him up. Yeah, fuck me. And he's just he did not enjoy that. If you're watching this right now and you're watching a subathon and a streamer has the podcast on, make a nice little clip really quick. Everybody, let's wake up the streamer in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Wake up!
Can you imagine God's cum shots, bro? Woo!
Can you imagine God's burps, or if God ripped a fart? It'd be so cool.
That's thunder, bro. When God farts,
that's what it is. I always thought the rainfall was tears and the lightning flashes was him taking a little picture of us. But you're telling me the rumbling thunder is God ripping ass?
Damn right. I mean, according to my theology, have you ever heard the old saying when it's raining out that the devil's beating his wife again?
I've heard that, and I was like, ew, what the fuck is that? That's weird.
Who the fuck knows, man?
I like God farting storms. That's cooler.
That's what I'm going to teach my kids, yeah. God's coming.
Yeah, it's raining again. God must be coming bricks, son.
Yeah.
That's way cooler than the devil one.
Yeah, the kid's going to be like, Dad, shouldn't we bring our umbrellas? And you're going to be like, yeah, and waste all this God cum? Hell no. Anyway.
Be grateful for the man upstairs.
This is why I want to live with Mom.
Mom loves God cum too.
Yeah. How do you think you got here, bitch?
That's right, baby. And then you fucking drop kick him. That's really good. Boy. Damn, nobody died from burping in 1632, but maybe the 2024 is the year that starts. We wanted to get to all the topics today, but hey, it's 4:16 in the morning and we've been rambling just because we're so excited to be hanging out again and getting this show on the road. We did not get to everything, but don't worry, they'll be coming in on the next episode. Skeleton Coast Safari, ethical discussion, about appropriate graffiti and what is and is not okay to put out in public as far as artwork goes. But hey, that's that. One big update we wanted to get into before we actually left, though, is we've been doing some crazy stuff on our Patreon. We started a fantasy football league on our Patreon, but specifically for Survivor Season 47. And we're on episode 3 now. I've really been enjoying the season. If you join our Patreon, feel free to join games and stuff that we do, like Survivor Fantasy Football. Patreon.com/L2BC. I would love to make this a little tradition, potentially, because I've been having a blast with it so far. Survivor Fantasy Football, this is tight. Now, Donovan has not looked at the numbers, and I am here to give him his big update. If you want to look, you should look now. But I want to let y'all know, if you are in our Patreon and you are playing Survivor Fantasy Football with us, the winner gets a coffee cup for free sent to their house. A big boy, last 2 brain cells coffee cup directly to your front door if you win Survivor Fantasy Football. We got some good competitors in here this year. But Donovan is pulling up his stats now. I would love to see what it's looking like for you and how you feel about your placements.
Yeah. Okay. So I just logged in, and just shout out to this website. It's actually a great site. And if you want to come join, this is actually fun as hell. I'm a new Survivor fan. I got to catch up on this season because I've been super busy back here in Istanbul, just situating life shit. But I have watched half of episode 1, and I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. So, okay. So I've logged in. I don't really know what I'm seeing. So, okay.
Do you want me to give you the numbers? I can deliver you the numbers here.
Yeah, please.
So here's where we're at. Donovan, you've watched half of the first episode. I've at this point watched all 3. I've watched the third episode twice because I was catching up with Sunny Brew because Sunny Brew is also in the league. And here's where we're at. You haven't watched literally anything. And guess where you are on that leaderboard, brother?
Am I on top?
You're number 1, baby. You're number fucking 1. You are on top, my guy. You haven't even watched it yet, and you are winning by a long shot.
Damn. I got that intuition, man. But can I tell you how I assembled my tribe?
I already know. Can I tell you how you assembled your tribe? Because I called it. I literally told Sunny Brew while I was looking at everybody's teams, and I was like, okay, these are good choices. Everyone's choosing based on gameplay or like, how they've been acting as people. I go to your page, and it's just the most attractive females on the show. You just voted for you just literally took the draft list and did like a hot or not from top to bottom.
You got me.
And you got some cuties. I knew right away, and it was a moment of realization that Sunny Brew laughed at. I was like, oh, Donovan picked Genevieve, and Donovan just picked all the girls that he thinks are cute, and that's where it is. And honestly, I respect it because you're on top.
Dude, but there was real strategy behind this. I'm not just a monkey. It's basic psychology that, when you're more attractive, you tend to be more successful. And so I think in social situations, you get your way more, you have more leadership roles. And I think it's a viable strategy.
Last week, you put 5 votes out of your 10 votes on one person. And that was the person who left.
Damn. All right.
So you not only just won because your players were good, your intuition got 5 out of 10 points, which the second highest score I saw out of points was like 2. You got 5.
I mean, I don't even know who I voted on, but it was probably a dweeb, right?
No, here's the thing, is the person you voted for was both Boulahan and my friend Mondocool's decision and choice for sole survivor winner. They both voted for this person to be the actual winner of the entire of the game, and you put half your votes on them, and they went way early.
Yikes.
You're outwitting, outplaying, and outlasting everybody.
Damn, shout out, man. Oh, I'm looking at the list. So you're second, though. You're second place, right?
I'm second place, baby. You think the last 2 Brain Cells Fantasy League is not going to have you and me on top? And Sunny Brew coming in on third.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. That's how the cookie crumbles, but it's very early in the season, so let's see how it pans out.
Amen. It's going to be a crazy one. You can never call it in Survivor. It's already off to a good start.
I would love to do another Patreon perk with you where we're like announcers for like a live game or like a Survivor episode.
I'm very down to hit the field.
Yeah, like let's watch a sport that we know nothing about and let's do live commentary.
It's kind of like Snoop Dogg going to the Olympics talking about badminton. It was thrilling. There was no context or real numbers or stats, but I loved it. I ate it up.
Yeah, and I can't promise that we're going to be as cool as Snoop Dogg, but we're also not getting paid $100 million a day, so,
But we could be if you want to pay us that.
Hey, and we're talking to you, burp fetish weirdos.
Any rich burpers?
All right, man. Do we want to wrap up this epi?
I think this is a good episode to wrap up. Hey, I cannot believe we made it to episode 31. Wow, look at that. Absolutely crazy. If you're listening, hey, join our Patreon, patreon.com/L2BC. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit a thumbs up, a little like-a-reno, and leave a comment. You can say poop if you want. I don't care. Just say something. It algorithmically helps out a lot. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or whatever it may be, give us a little 5-star on the platform. Give Algorithm Daddy some juice to help make this caboose go loose. We're doing our best out here. We're two independent boys trying to stay independent.
Yeah.
And support that if you want to, or don't if you don't want to. This has been a freaking blast, and I can't wait to have a good time either way again.
Yeah, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and go ahead and comment your favorite cause of death. And if it's fistula, you're the lucky listener.
Type fistula in the chat, everybody.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but for real, if you want to comment about your favorite cause of death, that's actually something that I love to talk about. I'm interested in. I would love to clap back, and we can have a conversation.
Ooh, kind of exciting. Hey, I'm here for it. This podcast is just a long-form conversation, and we're happy you joined us at the table.
And in the meantime, we are very much alive and thriving. Let's go ahead and wrap this up with an outro. Are you ready?
Yes. Do we have an idea? Are you going to throw a big one out? What are we doing?
All that I have written down is hog wranglers. So I think we could get on that. And 3, 2, 1.
Oink, 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 piggy! Oink, oink, oink. Quick note from the future. This is currently recorded from after the segment. We dove right into the segment without explaining what was happening, but it's looking like this segment is going to be a soundscape of a pig dying. Now, back to the action. It's 4:24 a.m. out here in Austin, Texas. Everybody's sleeping. You gotta come on inside. Let me do my signature call for you.
Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink.
Oh my God, he's growing. He's growing. He's swelling. He's swelling. This pig is suffering from fistula. Oh my goodness. This pig is gonna agoo. This pig is gonna agoo. Uh-oh. Oh, he's dead in the street. Listeners, I'm sorry, but we're dealing with a dead piggy. I can call the next one, but I'm gonna call him in the morning. It looks a little too dangerous out there. This has been a blast. We appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.